Hello, today I'm going to read Racist Myths by the New Movement in solidarity with the Mexican Revolution. The United States, in its white supremacist campaign against Mexican migration, has encouraged people in this country to accept several myths concerning the Mexican undocumented workers. While it's important to refute such widely spread myths, they are really not the issue, but rather serve to misdirect people about the real causes of economic problems in the United States, absolving the capitalist system of all responsibility. At the same time, they reinforce the white supremacist ideology that has justified the colonization of third world people throughout U.S. history and bolster the ideological foundation for war. One such myth is that Mexicans are stealing jobs from U.S. citizens. This turns history upside down since the entire southwest of the United States is the occupied northern territory of Mexico, stolen by conquest. Further, it is inherent in a capitalist economy to have built-in unemployment, cyclical crisis, and unsatisfying jobs whose sole purpose is to make profits for the employer. Even on its own terms, this myth is untrue. Many studies indicate that generally migrant workers do not displace U.S. citizens. For the most part, the jobs the Mexican worker takes are unacceptable to the white worker. It has also been shown that positions that are vacated by the undocumented worker will only be refilled by many employers with new undocumented workers. In addition, studies have indicated that while Mexicans migrate north, at least 47 to 52.3% of those apprehended by the INS are reported never to have found work, and those who do, the work tends to last an average of 3 months. Another accusation leveled at the undocumented workers is that they tend to depress wages and working conditions in places where they are employed. This again turns the situation upside down, blaming undocumented workers for their exploitation by greedy employers who pay them at subsistence wages in substandard working conditions. Due to fear of apprehension and deportation, undocumented workers often have difficulty organizing, joining unions, and striking. They know that employers can and do call the INS to stop these activities. This myth also ignores the long white supremacist history of the United States labor unions that have usually, at best, made little attempt to organize or support third world immigrants. In fact, the North American labor movement has frequently been an ardent supporter of immigration restrictions, massive deportation campaigns, and reactionary legislation from the Chinese Exclusion Act to the Simpson-Mazzoli Bill. One other false myth used by those who advocate the restriction of migration states that the undocumented drain the U.S. economy because they tend to take the flow of money out of the country and because they tend to abuse social services such as welfare, social security, food stamps, and health services. Once again, the facts are just the opposite. It is the Mexican and other third world economies that have been drained and distorted to make huge profits for the United States corporations. This argument also falls in light of the fact that most countries from which the undocumented originate are not only deeply in debt to the U.S., but also import most of their products from the U.S. 70% of Mexico's foreign trade is with the United States, and over 30% of its foreign debt is also to the U.S. In actuality, the money earned in the United States is used to buy U.S. goods and pay back such loans. As for social services, studies indicate that undocumented pay out much more in taxes than they are compensated for through the use of social services. Again, the fear of deportation deters most workers from using these services. If anyone benefits from this situation besides the government, it is usually the employers who often deduct these taxes from the payroll check and pocket the money. The employers save money through such practices as neglecting health and safety laws, minimum wage laws, child labor laws, overtime laws, and often by calling the INS for a raid of their own businesses to round up undocumented workers the day before payday. That's all for this one, and on the next one, we're going to talk about proposals for immigration reform.